Give me the rhythm. All right.
Hey, you, no, it's true. We're better together, better together. Better together. Gonna love you all my life.
What's up, everybody?
Whoa!
It's the Anthem Light Show.
Anthem Light.
We are back.
Yes.
It's been a few weeks.
Been a
We've
long
had a lot
time.
of different things going on. Well, first I want to introduce everybody. This is Caleb,
What's up,
Spencer,
guys?
I'm Chad, Joey, and we are
Anthem Light. Yes.
So we're taking a few weeks off. Some of you may know. Caleb had a baby, which I'm sure we'll talk more about.
I'm a dad, guys.
He's a dad again.
That's what this episode needs to be about. All about the baby.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
All about that.
Caleb,
baby.
take it away.
About that baby.
Just kidding.
Well, he spit up on me here.
Yeah, and then the rest of us have taken like kind of summer vacays and taken a little break, much needed, but now we're back. We're back in the saddle.
Feels good to be back.
Yeah, and so here we are.
Yeah, and over the last couple weeks, we've been releasing our the rest of our hymns videos. So we released "Great Is Thy Faithfulness."
Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness.
And then we released Crown Medley last week.
My name is graven on his hands.
And this week is My Jesus, I Love Thee.
Of thee for wearing the thorns on.
Really cool video.
That's it. Is that it?
Might be
I
it,
think
bro.
that's all. I think we're
that'll
wrapping
be
up
all
that
of
album.
I think it's kind of cool to mention. So we put that album out forever ago, and it's performing well
Yeah, like
again.
April.
Like best it's performed in its life so far right now, which
Yeah,
pretty
our
cool.
How Great Thou Art cover is going viral at the moment on Facebook. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Super dope.
Yeah. And then we just finished another album, which we can't.
We're not going to tell you about it yet, but
But
It
we're
is an
excited.
album. It's an album of new music, so it's not just a
something. It's a
single.
world we've never dived
Divin.
into before. So we're excited.
I'm so scared Spencer's going to let it slip. Don't do it, Spencer.
I'm not gonna let it slip.
Unplug this mic.
Ah!
Just kidding. So yeah, we're excited. Lots of exciting things to come.
Yeah. Coming up on the podcast, we got our Anthem Lights update, which Caleb just did. We're gonna do our world famous Geek Out.
We're gonna do
That'll
that
happen.
later.
Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. We're gonna do some Q&A. We're gonna answer some questions that some of you guys have submitted, and it's gonna be a good time.
Very exciting.
I don't know if that hooked everybody or not. I feel like it wasn't.
I feel like you already did that. Didn't we already do the thing?
What thing?
Never, never mind. This is getting awkward. Let's move on. Let's keep rolling.
What's our first topic?
What's our first topic? Well, I want to know. So we've been gone on vacation for a while. I want to hear about y'all's favorite moments from vacation.
Favorite vacay.
Well, I had a baby, so that was cool. The baby was healthy. The mom was healthy.
So top 5 vacation moments.
Yeah. It wasn't much of a vacation, but
Okay, yeah.
I had a good time while you guys were on vacation.
It actually worked out really funny. Caleb blocked a chunk of time on the calendar because he was gonna have a baby, and we were like, "Great, vacation time!" We all went.
And then we were on vacation, and Caleb's like, "Well, I could work. You guys are all gone." And we just got weird there for a second. Caleb, I need to sent us a video while we were on vacay, where like the first day that the two kids got together, or like met, his two sons have met. And it was one of the funniest videos I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's in it's in the pregnancy video, right? Did you put it in there? No? Oh, I thought you
No,
did.
we thought about posting this. Okay, so let me just describe what happened in the video. We had the newborn. We had our other son who's 20 months old, Emmett, and we wanted them to kind of meet and get comfortable with each other, whatever. So Emmett, my 20-month-old, comes up and starts poking his nose, and Kelsey's like, "Oh, be gentle, be gentle." And about that time, he rears his right hand back and just smacks him across the face. And I, in horror, am filming, and I drop my camera and gasp. And
I watched that video
after we
like
recovered
15
and the baby
times.
stopped crying, we explained to Emmett he can't do that. And then 20 minutes later, I was like, oh my gosh, I was filming that entire thing. So I grabbed my phone and looked at the video, and it was hilarious. And it's
Incredible.
We didn't post it on the internet because we were afraid that like child services would come confiscate our son. So
That's what having a brother is all about, though.
Yeah.
Getting
for
hit in the
real.
face every once in a while.
let me just had to set the tone right away, just so you know.
This is my house.
I'm the boss.
Bam. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have a very nice tan right now.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about
That's what
that
we've
for a
been saying.
second?
You have such a nice tan.
Yeah.
We've never said that.
No one's ever said that before. But anyway, I was at the
Joey
pool.
always looks
I was at the
tan,
pool for a week with my mom and my dad, my brothers, my girlfriend. It was amazing.
Jealous.
And I think my favorite was we went to spent a week down in Sanibel Island in my hometown of Fort Myers with my fam, and that was a blast. It was really, really, really hot, and it makes me wonder how I ever grew up down in Southwest Florida. And also it makes me never want to complain about the heat in Nashville ever again. But I survived that in the no-see-ums. I don't know if any of you have heard of no-see-ums, but they only live on the beach, and they're the devil.
Wait, what?
You
Can
ever
you
heard
talk
of
slower?
no-see-ums?
What is that?
Sorry, a no-see-um, it literally is like the name. You cannot see them. But, like, if you do not have bug spray on at the beach, especially down at Sanibel Island, it looks like you have chicken pops, like 5,
Oh, so this
10
is a
minutes.
Hold on. Did you say chicken
I
pops?
did. I said it wrong. I knew I did. Chicken pox.
Okay.
Like,
making sure.
like 10 minutes. Like in 10 minutes, and it was a nightmare. So, anywho.
Spence, highlight.
I got to go up into like the UP area, and we actually went to Mackinac Island,
Which stands for Upper Peninsula.
Upper Peninsula, and up in Michigan. And so we went to Mackinac Island. You take a little ferry out to this island that it's like its own massive island, and then we rented some bikes and we biked around the whole island, and then it's like very touristy. So the main street of Mackinac Island looks very much like a Disney like location. It's like super historic, and it has a lot of things to learn about, but it's also like touristy, and there's a bunch of shops and cool restaurants and stuff. And so that was really fun. Just kind of like it's its own world. Like people actually live out there. They have houses. There's summer homes there, and it's kind of claustrophobic, but it's also like like I felt a little confined there because I'm like, ooh, I'm on an island and I can't like escape this very easily. But then I mean, it's only like a 20-minute ferry ride and you're back to the mainland. So it was cool. It was really, really cool.
Now you know how Tom Hanks felt.
Yeah. Wilson.
Well, that's awesome. And Caleb had a baby vacation. I just want to say Caleb's family is complete goals. Family goals. I went. Me and my girlfriend went over there a few days ago to meet the new baby, and it's just such. You expect to walk into chaos, like juggling babies, like baby poop everywhere, dirty diapers like coming out of the whatever. Anyway, but it's not that. It's just totally peaceful. Everything's in order. They're smiling. Their baby's super chill, and props to you guys, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, for real. We went and visited them yesterday. No, yesterday? Was it yesterday? 2 days ago. And I had the same thought. I said to them, I was like, I walked in expecting chaos the way their first child was, because it was such a shock for them and the first time they've ever been parents. And you walk in, you thought it'd be worse with the second, and you walk in and everything's just in perfect place and everything looks perfect. And I'm just like, things must be better this
How
time
is your
around.
life more organized than mine with the newborn baby?
I guess you have to be, or you just go insane.
Oh, that's a good point.
So like the jump from 0 kids to 1 kid is like the biggest lifestyle change ever. But then 1 to 2, it's like you're already kind of in the rhythm of going to bed early and getting up early, and you're used to not having the freedoms that you have as a kidless person. So it's
Interesting.
just
Makes sense.
it's easier. This
I
time.
told Caleb his first. What was that? Anyway, I told Caleb his first kid. He came back into the office, and I was like, "Dang, you've been through the ringer," because it was obviously a lot of a
Bags
lifestyle
and-
change. Yeah, he just looked
A
older.
newfound beard, though.
Yeah, he wasn't a bearded guy for the most part, and then he came back in with a full beard. But then seeing him after this baby, I'm like, dude, it looks like nothing's changed whatsoever. Like you got a good handle on it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, that's cool. Vacation stuff. Awesome. People ask us pretty regularly about our favorite quotes, and I thought it'd be cool to kind of swing around the horn, as they say,
I love it.
and share what quotes are our favorite, or maybe just ones that are resonating with us currently at this moment. Let's start down here
Okay.
with Caleb.
All right, this first quote is from Soren Kierkegaard, who's a philosopher theologian. It says, most men pursue pleasure with such breathless haste that they hurry past it. And that has been resonating with me lately as I'm just like trying to be more present and be more aware and focus on mindfulness and staying in the moment. And so that quote just really resonates with me.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Spence?
One of my favorite quotes, and I may not say it exactly because I'm not reading it, but it's a quote, I think, from Will Smith. He said it in an interview once, and it was like, if you were not present during my struggle, you will be absent from my success. And I think it just spoke a lot to who you're surrounding yourself with and the people that support you from day one, and the people that are going to be there through the thick and thin. Those are the true people to surround yourself with, because they are in your best interest. They have your best interests in mind. And so I don't know, it resonated with me. I liked it.
That's cool.
It's cool, man.
Mine comes from Michelangelo, not the Ninja Turtle Michelangelo. And it is, I saw the angel in the stone and I carved until I set him free, which, I was in a time in my life, which I still am, of, working really diligently and really hard on myself and going back and figuring out, my child of origin and who I am as a person, my strengths and weaknesses and all that stuff. And there's a lot of work involved in that. And so I heard that quote during that process, and it's such an inspirational quote for me that I want to be reminded of daily, that I literally went and got it tattooed on my body. So I got a stone angel tattooed on my forearm.
That's
to
owning
remind me of that. So that's how much I love that quote.
Cool.
That's awesome, man. Mine is really simple. It's a poet named Rumi, and it just says, what you seek is seeking you. Thinking of life through that lens really helps me, because I've been guilty of kind of feeling like everything is against me at times, like if I can't, sometimes I've just felt like nobody wants me to win, and the universe doesn't want for me what I want for myself. But just being able to change that mindset and think about the things that you're chasing after are chasing after you as well, it just makes life a lot happier and easier. Anyway,
That's cool. I feel like those quotes kind of dance together a little bit, because yours was like, it was already there, you just carved it out. And yours is like, it is not only there to be carved out, but it wants to like find you.
wants to be free. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, Chad and I dance
Goes
together a
through
lot.
Where's
So
that
anyway-
where's that tattoo though?
Back it up.
Geek out! Geek out!
It is time.
How's that for an intro?
That was terrible.
You're like,
Anyway,
Geek
guys.
out!
Geek out!
Geek out!
Oh, that was way better.
That was it.
You be the geek out guy from now on.
I think I have been.
This is the part of the show where we talk about the things that we're obsessed with in culture and entertainment. Usually it's video games or Marvel movies.
Or
but-
Legos.
Or Legos for Chad. Chad, why don't you go first? What are you obsessed
Oh
with?
gosh. Well, I'm still doing the Marvel watch party thing.
What are you on?
What am I on? I just finished. They have 3 phases, and I just finished phase 2, which ended with Ant-Man, the first one.
Good movie.
It's been pretty awesome. The last, the Avengers, Ultron,
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron. I just watched that, and it's insane how much they point to Infinity War in it. Like there's just like reference after reference. In fact, there's one moment where Thor's having this crazy dream, and it literally shows Thanos' hand with all Infinity Stones in it, and it was like one of those things where I'm like, oh, like I never would have known what that was, or anything. And so they really set up Infinity War in that movie, so I thought that was really cool. But yeah, we're loving it, and just taking it little by little. I saw Infinity War came out, available to purchase, at least on Vudu. And we wanted to buy and watch it, but I'm like, no, we'll watch it when we get to it from our order. So anyway, that's my big thing.
I love the commitment.
I bought another Star Wars Lego set, so that keeps happening. That's not ending. That's not ending anytime soon. So next.
That's awesome. Also, if you're female or male, and Marvel movies are not really your thing, but you want to give it a shot, Ant-Man is a cool gateway, I guess, because it feels like a really light romantic comedy kind of vibe. Anyways,
I haven't seen the new Ant-Man yet.
It was good. It was good. It was good. I didn't think the new Ant-Man was as good as the first one, but it was good. Did you see it?
I laughed
did.
so hard. The movie was so funny.
Yeah, it's good. They're both good. I thought they were both equally great.
Caleb, what are you obsessed with? Other than babies.
Well, I'm into two things right now. One is not really. One is super geeky, but it's not really like pop culture geeky. So I've been reading a lot of books about theology. So I've been like watching like YouTube debates about the Bible and like all kinds of things like that. Which another quote, St. Augustine said, "If you think you understand, it isn't God." Which is kind of like
That's great.
That's awesome. We actually already did the quote section.
I just tied them together. Quote out. Geek quote. No. Okay. And then as far as just typical geekiness, I've been playing Far Cry 5 again. Super into that.
Good game.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's just like such a total dude game. Just like get to crash planes and shoot guns and go hunting. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Madden 19 comes out in like 20 days, so I'm stoked about that.
I just got, for the 90s kids of the world on the PlayStation side, I just got the Crash Bandicoot Remastered Trilogy, and it's taking me back to my childhood playing through those games. It's so fun. So much fun.
Do you remember that commercial when we were kids? It was like a PlayStation commercial, and Crash was outside of Nintendo's headquarters with like a megaphone, like calling Mario out.
I actually don't.
That's how they like marketed. Like Crash was like, "I'm here to like take Mario's throne." It's pretty.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Did he?
Oh, yeah, that didn't
I don't
really work
think
out
he
for
did.
him.
It didn't work out, but
Poor guy.
I feel like he established himself.
Made some noise.
Spence,
It's a
what you got, dog?
That's a noise.
I can't remember if I've talked about this already, but I'm still geeking out about it because I'm a little over a month away from having Spider-Man PS4 in my
Yes.
lap. Guys,
In my lap.
in my lap, it's going to
Sit
be.
on up here.
I'm going to go to GameStop, I'm going to purchase it, I'm going to buckle it into my passenger seat, and I'm driving home. And that's all I'm gonna play. No, I've been getting a little bit of that itch through Lego Superheroes 2 for the Switch. You can be Spider-Man and swing around the little open world that Lego Superheroes has. So I've been able to get a little bit of it, but it's not the same. Like I've just been watching all the videos, gameplay, all that stuff, and pretty obsessed. And it's not even out yet. So
Amazing.
Yo,
Did
we're-
you know?
We're
Sorry,
pretty
go
geeky. I'm just going to say
I
that.
feel like everybody is. People just don't like to talk about it. It's true.
Yeah.
There's a button on the controller when you're playing Spider-Man. That's like a joke button. You can go up to people
Right.
like in New York and just like crack jokes like Peter Parker.
dude,
would.
it's
Love
so
it.
good.
I'm so excited.
So I like my favorite thing is to go up to the highest building and just look around and then like jump off because it's that feeling of the feeling
We
of
should
like
talk later.
hold on. No, because it's like it's complete freedom because you know you can just shoot a web and like catch yourself
And it'll what? Grab onto a cloud?
it's
I'm not
no.
buying
Hold
it.
on a second.
A higher building.
I don't want to get too deep into this.
He
but
said highest
they fixed
building.
that.
Oh.
No, and you jump off so that you're low enough to catch onto another building with your
You
web.
fall far enough to where there's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One of my favorite moments in the
Didn't
most
even finish my
recent
thought.
Spider-Man Marvel movie was when he was like chasing these villains and he was Spider-Web, and he came out from these woods and he was like went to throw it and there was no buildings. He was in like this golf course.
Yeah.
There's no buildings for him to latch onto, and he was like, and it just shows him running through the golf course. It was so
Finally, a realistic
I
superhero
know.
movie.
Yeah.
Did you want to finish your thought?
No, I did. I was saying that when I get up to the top of the building, it's like my favorite thing, but I've seen a clip from this new one in the city they made, like obviously it looks like New York, but I would have not known it was a video game had it just been a screenshot picture. Like it looked so pretty. So I'm like really excited for like an authentic feel of New York and just like swinging around.
Marvel's New York.
Marvel's New
Which
York.
is even better than the regular.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Always.
Sorry.
Well, this has been your segment of
Geek out!
We win some, we lose some, and some get away. We're perfect, we're broken. That's it.
So I think now is the time, excuse me, for Ask Them Lights.
Ask Them Lights.
Yeah.
Do you remember who came up with that name?
I don't, but we just met her at our last show in Chicago area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she came up and her mom came up to me. I can't remember her name, and so I feel awful. But she's like, yeah, my daughter came up with the Ask Them Lights thing. She submitted that, and that was her submission. I was
Let's
like,
figure it out
that's
before
awesome.
the next podcast.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. So if that's you and you're listening, email again so we can mention that next
And
time.
we'll send you royalty checks. Just kidding.
Ask Them Lights. We're going to do some questions that you guys have submitted to our anthemlights@gmail.com email. The first one is favorite venue you've performed at and why. This is from Sharia Brown from the Bahamas. And favorite venue you've performed at and
She's
why.
on vacation all the
It's
time.
interesting that she's from the Bahamas because I'm gonna say my answer is on a cruise ship. That's
Ooh.
to and from the Bahamas.
That's pretty awesome.
Good
What's
answer.
better
That's pretty
than
fun.
Playing music on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
Boat, dude.
We played in Sri Lanka. That was the coolest
You
experience.
stole
Maybe one of the coolest experiences in my life.
Yeah.
And it was outdoor. We were next to water. They had these stringed lights.
It was good vibes.
It was Slow Flow Sunday Live. Was
Yes,
the
I
name of
forgot
the
about
event.
And there was a ton of
From
people there, too.
Sun FM, a radio station, put it on.
Shout out.
They were super, super kind. Everyone we met in Sri Lanka was super kind.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that we get the opportunity to go back someday.
Yeah, that's cool. Mine is a little more nostalgic for me. I grew up before Fort Myers, Florida, which I mentioned earlier. And there's this arena that's been there since I was a kid that I used to grow up going to big Christian concerts there. And I remember waiting forever for front row to Stephen Curtis Chapman. And I remember being on the third day film there, their concert DVD there, and I'm in the front row of that DVD, jumping up and down, anyways. And so
We have to find that.
it's there. I have it somewhere. Yeah, we do actually. Why haven't I busted that out? Anyways, so we long while back played there on the Newsboys tour we were on, and it was just a really cool moment for me to be on that stage that I grew up watching all these big shows at. And also me and Alan did the Jesus Freak rap with Newsboys and Michael Tate, which was a surreal moment for me as well. So that's probably my favorite.
That's awesome. I think the favorite venue that I've ever performed at was Creation East. Was one of the second or third times I've ever gotten to perform there. It was out in Pennsylvania. And we did a dance party. We threw a dance party after one of the main stage acts. I think it was Toby Mac's night. We threw the dance party after his show at main stage, and everybody was filtering over to the camp sites, but where our stage was along the way, and they heard the music, and we ended up getting 1,000 or 2,000 people to just come on over and throw this epic dance party. And me and a couple of the other artists that were on the tour got to perform some of our songs during it, but people just freaked out. We sold a bunch of merch. It was amazing. It was really, really fun, and it kind of just was something that sparked the excitement inside of me. I want to do this for every single show that I ever do. And so
And then you joined Anthem Lights.
then I joined Anthem Lights, and it's a different
And then I
vibe,
joined
but
an
it's great.
acoustic piano band.
No, but it's we.
So do you do that?
What's that?
You do the dance parties at all your solo?
Not at all my solo shows, but stuff that was attached to the Millennial Tour and the festivals that we did. That was part of our thing. Hey, we'll come and do a show, but we'll also throw the dance party and let us be in charge of that. So we'd always have a DJ, and we'd have a drummer drumming to all the beats and stuff, and then each of us would perform 2 songs that were dance So
That's awesome.
super fun.
That cool.
Next question from Sadie Bolton.
Sadie.
Never got
Bolton,
a
thank
location from her, but she asked, "What's your favorite book?" Joey?
The Bible.
Probably The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. It's the first book that I read that kind of sparked my excitement to read books. I highly recommend it.
Very cool.
Cool. Gosh.
The Bible's not a book, by the way. Technically.
Call it the good book, bro.
Neither are Star Wars Legos. Those
Hey,
are books.
have you seen the instruction manual? It's huge. I'm blanking out on the name of the exact name, but it's something like the emotions of the heart or something along those lines. Basically,
Totally making this up.
I feel like if it's your favorite book, you should
I
be
know,
able to-
dude. I'm blanking out on the exact wording of the name. Anyways, it's essentially this book about for someone like me who in a negative way cannot express emotions or feel emotions that well. It's just a book that kind of helps you unlock and know the importance of experiencing emotions that can then allow you to experience genuine love and relationships. So.
I remember right when I joined the band, this is kind of to highlight Chad's point of not being able to handle emotion.
Uh-oh.
Right when I joined the band, like my second or third show, I was like, dude, you sounded awesome tonight. And he was like, I hate you. He's just like, every compliment, he would just respond with aggression.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you found that book.
My favorite book is actually just like a series of books that I need to go back and finish, but I'm not much of a reader. I don't really enjoy reading. So when I had to read, I wanted it to be something that I could like get into. And there was these sci-fi books called the I Am Number 4 series. And it was just about these special group of kids that came to Earth after their home planet was destroyed. And they had guardians, and they all would develop powers as they got older. And for some reason, I always love a story when someone who doesn't expect to have powers kind of comes into possession of powers. I think that's why I love Spider-Man, because it's like he didn't have powers until the spider bit him, and now he's like able to do crazy things. And I just love that part. It's like it makes me imagine, how would I respond if I could just start flying and shooting web out of my hands. So anyway, that was the book series about these like 9 or 10 kids that came from this other planet and started to live life on Earth, but then we're also escaping aliens that were attacking them too. People that killed their home planet. I'm super nerdy, but I
actually
love
already did the Geek
these
Out segment,
books.
Spencer.
Book out. Anyway,
Okay,
these
so
are my.
so we had a fiction with like the dabbles in like philosophy, maybe.
Yeah, that's
Yours
a good way
is
to
like,
describe it.
What, like psychology, self-help kind of thing.
Yep.
Yours is like sci-fi.
Yeah.
My favorite book is Facebook.
Yay.
Ah.
Got him.
Man, this is tough. I'm gonna say The Way of the Superior Man. This is my favorite
Great
book.
book.
Talks a lot about the masculine and the feminine and how those kind of relate to each other, and just help me understand myself and my wife. And it's a very, very good book.
Great book.
Awesome. Awesome. Next question from Jade Porsche. I think that's how you say her name. And it is, have
cool
you
name.
ever had a snow cone?
Yes, Jade. Yes, I have.
I have as well, Jade.
Answer that, Joe. Tell us how the experience of your first snow cone was.
My first snow cone, I could never remember that in a million years, but I do remember cold. I think it was grape. I think I got brain freeze. There you go.
Wow. Chad, have you ever had a snow cone?
Oh yeah, I've had a snow cone. You kidding me? You haven't lived if you haven't had a brain freeze from a snow cone. Let me tell you.
Just kidding. I have had a snow cone. and
Wasn't
I
that
think-
your nickname in high school? Snow cone.
No.
Isn't that what they called you?
No. Hey, yo, my man, snow cone over here. No, I've had a snow cone before, but I think my first one I ever had was a blueberry one.
Very dope.
Dope, dude.
I grew up in
Purple
South
teeth.
Dakota where
Blue
it
teeth.
snows like 6 months out of the year. So yeah, I'm familiar with snow
Your
cones.
life was a snow cone.
And also, there's a snow cone truck that's open like every Saturday in the summer at Sevier Park over off 12 South in Nashville, and it's really good.
Hey, that's dope.
Shout out.
Alexandria Miller from Nashville, Nash Vegas, hometown. What was your first impression of each other?
Oh boy.
Man. I'm excited about
Oh,
this
no.
question.
Okay,
This may end us as a band.
so here's how I think we should do this. We'll start with somebody that gives their impression of everybody, then the next person gives their impression of everybody, and down the line.
Love it. Who starts?
Caleb, you start.
All right. So I met Chad first. I'm going to start here because I met him first. My first impression was that he was very quiet. Because I remember when I got the... So if you know the history of the band, like I kind of auditioned basically for Chad and his producer to be a part of this group. And so I was really nervous, and I... like the story was that Chad is a solo artist, but he's putting together this boy band. So I walked in expecting him to be kind of like this big personality, like this real like hotshot kind of guy. But I just remember feeling like, oh, he's really chill, really quiet, laid back, just like a nice guy.
That was Alan, the big shot person.
Yeah, and then I met Alan. Oh, there he is.
It's funny.
Just kidding. And then Joey, I remember
buddy.
being really excited about you because you were also short.
That's why you guys let me in the band.
Yeah. Alan, I remember Alan's like, yeah, Caleb's gonna have a little buddy.
Oh, no.
Man.
No, so I feel like I just remember thinking you were really like charming and hilarious.
Spot on.
And Spencer, I don't know why height is such a thing, but I remember seeing you for the first time, and because I'd seen you on like videos and stuff, but then I saw you at the airport that one day. I'm like, whoa, he's tall.
Like tall, dude.
And I guess it's kind of the same thing. I was expecting you to be more like, I don't know, like less chill, and you were just like pretty laid back.
It's fair. It's fair.
So yeah.
It's fair.
Cool.
It's my turn.
Weird to think about this stuff.
All right, so
Scared.
first impression. I met the guys at the airport. Caleb had texted me and messaged me on Facebook to like initiate the conversation. So I actually FaceTimed you.
Yeah, remember that.
I FaceTimed Caleb, and you were like sitting in your office. So it was like all for like not your office that the band had, but your home office.
Yeah.
And like I saw the albums in the back. I was like, oh, this guy.
This guy, what a tool. Actually, let me interject here, because the first time I reached out to you, I slid into your Facebook message.
You did.
And you never replied.
I did
So I
not
was like,
check
this
my-
guy's a tool. So when I finally got a hold of you, I was expecting
bag.
that guy. Turns out you just
Fair.
never checked your
That's
Facebook.
fair. Yeah, I never checked Facebook.
Truth comes out.
So Caleb was super nice, and was just like, yeah, we just kind of want to feel it out, but we're interested in having you be a part of it. So you were super chill, but also just like wanting to meet like in person and just more about the vibes, the energy of everything. So that was cool. Then I met you, Joey, and Alan coming off the plane in Tampa because you guys had flown me to Tampa, Florida for your show. And so I was there with a buddy, and I think you were really quiet, and you kind of like were just like you didn't know how to like approach it. I think you felt awkward. Maybe you didn't. It just kind of came across that way. And we kind of like connected over talking about Justin Bieber's album, Purpose. We talked a lot about
That
Purpose
unites
at the
the
time.
world.
And so then we just kind of kept laughing about different songs that we liked on that. And then Alan was a very vocal, distant, like pensive dude that had this whole thing. But then Chad wasn't with them because he was already in Florida. So I met him at, I think we were at Alan's dad's place.
Yeah.
And then Chad and Fallon came in, and Chad and I shook hands, and that was about the extent of it. I don't think we said much anything after that.
To this
we
day.
didn't make much eye contact. Yeah, Chad and I didn't make much eye contact, and it was just kind of like he was the other guy in the band. I didn't know how to take you. I didn't know how you were gonna be. I thought you might have been like more stuck up and kind of like cocky,
okay,
but
you
you
can
didn't
say
end
it.
up being that. You didn't end up being that personality. Like Caleb said, you're a very quiet and reserved person, and so I was excited about that because I thought,
Yeah, if anybody who I meet in the future know that I'm not a jerk when I'm not like being super friendly. I'm working on it.
yeah.
Love you.
So that was my first impression. That was my first impression, everybody.
Cool. For me, I met Caleb, of course, first. We go back at the beginning, and I remember Caleb walking in when we were kind of auditioning a few guys and hearing some guys sing at Liberty, trying to put this group together. And what's funny is the height was a thing as well. I remember being like, man, he's an amazing vocalist, but I'm like, but is his height like the rest of us are all 6 foot or taller? Like, is that gonna look weird if he's like shorter and all that stuff? And I remember going into it as I got to know Caleb a little bit early on. I remember like thinking, I was like, Caleb's a guy who we're gonna butt head, we're gonna fight a lot, we're gonna have a lot of like he's a guy who's I'm gonna struggle to like get along with, and it actually didn't turn out to be the case. I mean, we've had our disagreements along the way, as anyone would who's been as close as we have for 10 years, but you know, they've all always resolved themselves the way they should. And so anyways, my first impression of Caleb was like, oh, we're gonna have problems.
I'm not gonna like it.
But for Spencer, I'll go to Joe. I'm going in order here. For Joe, I remember Joe being like one of the funniest guys I've ever been around in my life. And I was like, stop. I was like, what walls is he putting up with his humor? I'm just kidding. I didn't think like that. But no, what's funny is I say this now because he's greatly exceeded all our expectations with this. But I don't know if we've told the story about when we first met Joe or first like asked Joe to be in the band, like we didn't even know he was such a good such an amazing musician. Like we were like, oh, he's got a good voice, he looks great guy, be a great fit for what we were at the time. and which we didn't, ever play. None of us played instruments, and we really were the boy band thing. And then Joey came along, and one day we realized, wow, he's an amazing pianist and guitarist and everythingist. And yeah, so
Drummist.
yeah, and so he surprised all of us down the road there. For Spence, I remember meeting Spencer, and I remember the same thing, thinking, man, he's tall. I remember that right
Is he
away.
gonna look weird?
Yeah, exactly. The same
to
thought. Like,
Caleb?
man, I don't know. I remember thinking how tall Spence was, and then I remember, of course, thinking like, oh, he's young, like, is the young thing gonna be?
Yeah,
like,
that was a concern.
It was like, is the young thing gonna be weird? Like, I don't remember how old I was at the time, but
You were at least married.
we're 10 years different, and so it was like wondering that and thinking like, he's young, he doesn't know anything kind of situation. But again, like, apparently my first impressions of people always are not right, so I need to work on that. But and then as I've gotten to know Spencer, he is much more mature than I expected him to be at the time. And so yeah,
Appreciate it, Chad.
It's cool, man. I when I joined the band, I don't know why I remember this so well. I guess it was just a big moment in my life. But the guys had a show, and they had asked me if I wanted to audition to be in the band, and I was like, sure, why not? And so I went and met them at the show just to like see if we got along or whatever. And I remember like Alan texted, he was like, yeah, just meet us out the bus or whatever. And I was like, the bus? Oh my gosh. So I go and standing outside this big tour bus, like, who are these people? Looking at this bus, and then it's honestly weird that I remember this well, so nobody judge me. But Caleb comes walking up with his coffee and his shades on, and I was like, this dude is so cool. I am not supposed to be here. Like, Caleb comes walking up, and he's like, hey, man, yeah. He's just super, super chill. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So I followed Caleb onto the bus, and Chad had on the brightest shoes.
oh man, I remember those.
He was sitting there doing something, but he had these bright, like, I don't know. I think
Oh yeah, they were
I
like
think.
purple and green
Yeah.
and like blue. And
They were Justin Bieber ripoffs. Is what
yeah,
they were.
and I looked down at my shoes. They were black. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this wrong. I can't keep up with these people.
Said like a true shoes.
And then,
so funny.
yeah, so that was my first impression of these two. And then fast forward down the road, I also thought Spencer was tall. It's funny, I never really knew that I was short. I spent most of my life feeling like I'm just a normal guy. And then even meeting Chad and Alan, they're both tall. I still felt like they're freakishly tall. I'm perfectly normal. And then I met Spencer, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm short. That's kind of how it went down. I think we've talked about this before, but I was the one when we were transitioning Alan out and talking about maybe adding a new member. I was like, no, we can't add a new member. It's going to be so weird. Let's just keep it the three of us. Which is ironic because I was the new member at one point.
And
But
that's what we kept reminding you.
Yeah.
If we had followed that plan, you would never be here.
yeah. But no, so I met Spence and I was hesitant at first, but I love him to death now. And I'm so glad you joined a band.
That's
bro.
my dude.
Love you.
That's
guys.
my dude.
That's my
hey,
dude.
you hear that new Bieber track?
Hey, that new Bieber track, No Brainer? Yeah, it's good.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, first impressions.
That was we've never done that.
No.
It was interesting to hear all those.
Good question,
Yeah.
Alexandria.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So,
All right, well, that is our show. Please send any questions you may think of to anthemlights@gmail.com. We would love to answer some new ones and be creative, like the first impression one. That was great. All right, what did you learn today, Caleb?
what did we learn?
Today I learned that Joey thought I was cool.
Like, super cool. Way too cool for me.
This says more about you than me.
Oh, yeah.
Today that I learned today that I was the person that Joey had to see to realize he was short.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's sad, but it's true.
I learned that I make terrible first impressions.
No, mine was good. I thought you were going to be like not cool and you ended up being cool.
I learned.
But your initial impression was that you thought I wasn't really cool. 'Cause- Right.
Well, those are expectations. Your first impression was good.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, I take that back.
I learned that Spencer desperately wants to be Spider-Man.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Savage
To the point that when we go to New York City, we need to be watching him all the time. Spencer, no!
I got it, guys.
It's like throwing fishing line at everything.
Oh, that's good.
Sweet.
Our social media handles, Caleb.
At Caleb Grimm.
At Spencer Kane Music and at Spencer. I am Spencer Kane. There you go.
Chad M. Graham.
Joseph Stamper.
Boom.
Boom. And we are Anthem Lights Band on Instagram and Anthem Lights everywhere.
Please use
And
My
Joey's
bad.
breaking cameras.
All right. That's Joey, Chad, Spencer, Caleb. We're out.
Peace.
Later.
Outro music. Go.